In conversation number one today, we talked about the Fed perhaps having to actually break the economy to get inflation down to 2%. I want to kind of build on that conversation because right at the end, Anna really got me thinking about what I've been believing, but I want to put into words today. And that is we could have what's often called the lost decade, where we just
Yes,
basically go sideways. And I think that's a conversation we need to have, Anna. What do you think?
absolutely. And we've been talking about this possibility for about a year as well. If you go back and listen to our shows about, what could happen and the idea of stagflation and lower growth going forward. And I will say that I listen to a lot of gray-haired guys because they've been through many different cycles and they have a lot of wisdom to share. And what's interesting is a lot of people will say, hey, these guys are perma bears. They're always thinking it's going to get worse. But the reality is they've lived through ups and downs and they've seen the signs and they've seen that while most economies kind of wash out every 7 years, like an average economic cycle goes from peak to recession every 5.5 to 7 years, they're like, the reason it's been extended so long is because of these unnatural, not market forces, but the Fed's quantitative easing. And because of that easing, it's created this huge run of expansion reliant upon cheap debt that's pushed asset values high, corporate profits high, but it's all artificial. And they've basically said if inflation's really bad and the Fed has to take rates much higher, it's going to really squeeze profits because the debt payments required to service that debt, whether you're a commercial real estate owner, whether you're a small business owner or a large corporation that relies on low interest rate loans, especially interest only, that can just be refinanced and rolled over and over and over again. When that easy money lets off, that they now have a significant jump in their interest payments. And that alone could squeeze corporate profits by 50%. And so, basically, because of these conditions and having higher interest rates, it squeezes profitability and growth out of the system and basically redeploys money that would have gone to growing jobs, growing infrastructure, growing research and tech. And it says now we don't have the money to do that because we have to put it toward debt. And so that is the big force that causes slow growth. And when you have inflation, higher costs of everything at the same time that you make debt more expensive, it just squeezes all the potential productive dollars out of the economy and puts them to, inflation and basically wage inflation and debt payments, and it causes very, very low growth. And we've seen this historically over and over again. But these gray hair guys like Buffett, like Jeremy Grantham, there's a bunch of others, Jim Ricards, they basically say, we think, Ray Dalio, we're going to have a lost decade. All of them are saying over the next 10 years, expect pockets of growth, and you're going to have to pick very carefully where you go to try to create returns. But putting your money in the stock market and an index fund and thinking you're going to get, something over the treasury is going to be really, really difficult. Parking it in commercial real estate at 3, 4, 5 caps is going to be really, really difficult. And you're going to have to work harder to create returns over the next decade, quite frankly, than you did over the last.